You ever notice how they love to preach about loyalty, yet scatter like rats the moment the boat starts sinking? It's funny, really, how quick they switch sides when it doesn't serve them anymore. You sit there, broken and bleeding, and they barely flinch. The ones who swore they'd be there through it all, gone. And you're left staring into the void, wondering if it was ever real. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. See, the problem ain't that you cared too much. It's that you cared at all. You handed out your loyalty like free samples at a market, thinking it'd come back around. But it never does it? No. What you get is silence. Cold, echoing silence. And in that silence, you start to realize something. Their indifference is just a reflection of who they really are. A mirror showing you the truth you've been too blind to see. It's a cruel joke, really. You gave them chances. Oh, so many chances. Hoping they'd change, praying they'd prove you wrong. But all they did was prove you right. Again and again, they showed you that they never cared. That's the punchline, my friend. The grand reveal. The ones who swore they'd catch you if you fell were the first to grease the rails. But here's the thing. It's not your fault. People love to blame the victim, right? You should have known better, they say, wagging their fingers like they've got it all figured out, as if trusting was your sin. No, the real sin was theirs, pretending to care when it suited them and turning their backs when it didn't. They're not people, they're parasites, feeding off your hope, your kindness, until there's nothing left but a husk. You want to know why it hurts so much? It's not because you lost them. No. The real pain comes from realizing they were never yours to lose in the first place. That everything you thought was real was just an illusion. They smiled to your face and laughed behind your back. They took your honesty and wore it like a mask to hide their own lies. And you, poor fool that you were, believed them. But that's the beauty of rock bottom. There's nowhere lower to go. No more lies to uncover. No more betrayals left to burn. Just cold, hard truth. And yeah, it stings. It burns like hell. But it also frees you. Because now you see them for what they are. Wolves in cheap suits. Angels with bloody hands. And you're still standing. Battered, maybe. Bruised, definitely. But standing. You ever think about revenge? Of course you do. We all do. Imagining them on their knees, begging for forgiveness they'll never get. But that's too easy. No, real revenge is watching them drown in the misery they created. Because here's the twist. They're already haunted. They're trapped in a cage of their own making, tormented by the emptiness they tried to bury. That's why they can't stand your indifference. Why they need you to care. Because when you stop caring, the mirror cracks. They see themselves for what they are. Pathetic, hollow, desperate for validation. And they'll hate you for it. They'll try to drag you back into their games, make you question yourself. Doubt every move you make. Don't fall for it. You owe them nothing. Not your time, not your tears, not even your hate. The best part? Knowing they can't hurt you anymore. Because once you stop caring, they lose all their power. And yeah, you'll feel alone. That's the price of seeing the truth. But solitude ain't the enemy. False company is. Better to walk alone in the dark than follow a crowd blinded by the light. They'll call you cold, say you've changed. But what's really changed is your perspective. You don't owe anyone an explanation for outgrowing the lies they sold you. So let them talk. Let them whisper and sneer. Let them spit their venom and pretend it doesn't burn. Your indifference, that's the mirror that shows their true faces. They can't stand it, being exposed. They'll scramble to paint you as the villain, rewrite the story to make themselves the victims. But deep down, they know. They see the reflection staring back at them, empty and hollow. And when they come crawling back, and they will, don't flinch, don't falter. Look them dead in the eye and let them choke on the silence. Let them taste the bitterness of their own betrayal. You owe them nothing. Not a word, not a glance, not even a memory. Burn it all. Let the bridges light your way forward. Because here's the truth. You're stronger alone. No dead weight, no anchors pulling you back. Just you and the road ahead. Yeah, it's dark and cold and unkind, but it's real. And real is all that matters. So wear your indifference like armor, thick and unbreakable. Let it shield you from the lies, the fake smiles, the empty promises. You survived the worst they had to offer, didn't you? Every knife in your back, every whisper behind closed doors. You're still here, breathing, fighting, refusing to stay down. They didn't break you, they built you, made you sharper, harder, colder, and maybe that's what scares them the most. That no matter how much they took, they couldn't take you. That you're still standing, unbroken, unbent, unafraid. So keep walking. Let the shadows fall behind you. Let them watch, seething and helpless, as you rise from the ashes of every bridge they burned. You owe them nothing. Not forgiveness, not understanding, not even a passing thought. Your indifference is the mirror that shows their true faces, and they can't stand the sight of what they've become. Keep that in mind the next time they come knocking. Crocodile tears in their eyes and lies on their tongues. Keep that in mind when the loneliness creeps in and the silence gets too loud. Better to be alone in truth than surrounded by comforting lies. Better to burn alone than freeze, surrounded by false warmth. So walk on, cold, unfeeling, untouchable. Let them choke on the ashes of what they destroyed. Let them see their own hollow eyes staring back from the mirror of your indifference. And when they finally break, when the masks slip and the truth bleeds through, Don't you dare look back. They're not worth it. They never were. Ah, so you want to go deeper into the darkness. Good. Let's tear open those wounds a little wider. Let the truth spill out raw and unfiltered. No mercy, no sugarcoating. Just the cold, harsh reality. You ever wonder why they hate the silence so much? Why they can't stand being alone for more than a heartbeat? It's because in the silence, the masks slip, the fake laughs, the forced smiles, all that bravado crumbles. They're left with nothing but their own empty eyes staring back at them. That's why they need the noise, the fake friends, the hollow compliments, the constant chatter. It drowns out the whispers in their own heads, the ones that remind them of what they really are. Pathetic, cowards, liars. And the best part? They hate you for not needing it, for staring into the silence and not flinching, for embracing the loneliness they're so terrified of. Because while they're out there scrambling for attention, desperate for a fix to numb the emptiness, you're learning to live with the darkness, to wear it like a second skin. And nothing scares them more than someone who doesn't need the crowd, who doesn't beg for approval or validation. Because that kind of freedom, it's priceless. And they can't stand that you found it without them. That's why they try to drag you back. Not because they care, don't kid yourself. They just can't handle the idea that you escaped, that you saw through the lies and cut the chains. So they'll come slithering back with empty apologies and sad eyes, pretending they've changed, pretending they're sorry. But they're not sorry for what they did. They're sorry you survived it. Sorry you didn't break like they wanted you to. Sorry you're still here, stronger and colder and completely out of reach. And when that doesn't work, when you don't fall for the act, they turn to poison, whispering lies behind your back, twisting the story to paint themselves as the victims. Because people will believe anything if it makes them feel better about themselves. They'll eat up the lies, nod along, because it's easier than facing the truth that they stood by and watched, or worse, that they helped hold the knife. But it doesn't matter, does it? Let them talk. Let them drown in their own poison. Truth has a funny way of clawing its way to the surface, no matter how deep they try to bury it. You ever seen a snake shed its skin? It's almost beautiful, the way they leave it behind, fresh and gleaming, like a whole new creature. But it's still the same snake underneath, still full of venom, still waiting to strike. That's them, shedding lies and masks and fake apologies, thinking if they pretend hard enough, you'll forget what they did. But you don't forget, do you? You remember every word, every scar, every knife on the back. You wear those memories like armor, jagged and unbreakable. They can't touch you now. That's what drives them insane, the fact that their words can't cut anymore, that their knives just scrape uselessly against the walls you built. And yeah, it gets lonely sometimes. Cold, dark. You look around and realize the room's empty because you threw out all the garbage, and the silence gets loud, deafening. You start to wonder if maybe they were right, if maybe you're the problem, if maybe caring was the mistake. But then you remember the lies, the betrayals, the way they laughed when you fell, and suddenly the silence doesn't seem so bad. Better to walk alone than follow snakes through the grass. See, people love to tell you to forgive and forget. Move on, they say, as if it's that simple. As if pretending it didn't happen will make the scars fade. But forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. And some things are not meant to be forgiven. Some scars are there to remind you, to keep you sharp, keep you cold, keep you ready. Because the world isn't kind. It's full of liars and backstabbers who smile while they twist the knife. And the sooner you accept that, the better. You don't owe them a thing. Not a second chance, not a kind word, not even a sideways glance. Let them choke on the silence. Let them rot in the misery they tried to bury you in. Your indifference? It's the mirror that shows their true faces. Ugly, twisted, hollow, and they hate it. Hate that you walked away. Hate that their words bounce off you like broken glass. Hate that you stopped bleeding for people who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. But that's the trick, isn't it? People don't want the truth. They want the lie that makes them feel better. They want you to play the villain, wear the mask, take the blame so they can sleep at night. They want you to forgive so they can forget. They want to rewrite the story, paint themselves as the heroes, the victims, the misunderstood. But the truth doesn't change just because they close their eyes. The knife is still in your back. The blood is still on their hands, and no amount of whitewashing can hide the stains. So, let them talk. Let them rewrite history in their heads. Tell themselves whatever they need to sleep. The truth is a poison that seeps slow. One day, they'll look in the mirror and see it all. The lies, the betrayal, the emptiness. They'll see the monster they tried to make you out to be staring back at them, and it'll eat them alive. Because you can lie to the world all you want, but you can't lie to yourself. Not forever. And by then, you'll be long gone. Already on the next chapter, the next war, the next fight, stronger, colder, untouchable, while they're stuck in the past, choking on regrets and half-hearted apologies. You'll be burning through the darkness unstoppable, because the worst part's over. You've seen the truth, accepted it, and survived it. Their words can't hurt you anymore. Their lies, their guilt, their poison, none of it matters. You've learned to turn your pain into power, your scars into armor. You've learned that the deadliest weapon isn't hate, it's indifference. So wear that indifference like a crown. Sit on your throne of broken promises and sharpened regrets, and let them watch from the shadows. Let them tremble at the monster they created, the one they couldn't break, the one who walked away without looking back. You don't owe them a damn thing, not mercy, not understanding, not even hatred, just silence. Cold, unfeeling, unforgiving silence. Because in the end, the truth doesn't need to be shouted to be heard. It just needs to exist, and it does. In every scar, every broken bond, every cold glance you give to the ones who tore you apart. The truth is a mirror, and your indifference is the reflection. The uglier it makes them feel, the more honest it is. So let them hate it. Let them hate you. Let them drown in the reality they created. You're still standing, and that's all that matters. And that's the thing they'll never understand. That survival isn't about strength, it's about acceptance. Accepting that the world is cruel and unfair, that people lie and betray without blinking, that the ones you love most will be the ones who twist the knife the hardest. It's about looking that truth dead in the eye and not flinching. About standing back up every time they knock you down, wiping the blood from your mouth, and smiling through the pain. They hate that smile. The one that says, "Is that all you've got?" Because it reminds them that no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't break you. That you're still here, breathing, fighting, refusing to play the victim. You see, they expect you to beg, to fall to your knees and ask why, to cry and scream and tear your heart out, searching for answers that'll never come. That's what they wanted all along, to watch you suffer, to see you shattered and hopeless, to make themselves feel bigger by breaking you down. But when you stopped asking, when you stopped caring, that's when the fear kicked in. Because they realized you didn't need them. Not their apologies, not their explanations, not their fake redemption. You moved on without them. And that's the kind of freedom they'll never taste. And yeah, it's tempting sometimes to go back, to give them a piece of your mind, scream in their faces, make them feel a fraction of the pain they caused. But that's the trap, isn't it? That's how they pull you back into their game, make you dance to their twisted tune. They want your anger, your hatred, because even that's better than being ignored. Even that gives them power over you. But when you look right through them, cold and indifferent, like they're nothing, that's what cuts the deepest. That's what keeps them up at night, replaying every word, every mistake, every betrayal. Your indifference is the wound that never heals. You ever think about why they did it? Why they lied, betrayed, tore you apart like it was nothing? It's simple, really, because they're empty. Hollow shells pretending to be human, stuffing themselves full of lies and fake smiles just to feel something. They destroy because they don't know how to build. They break people down because they can't stand the idea of anyone being whole when they're so shattered inside. Misery loves company and they're drowning in it, and that's why they'll come back. With apologies that taste like ashes, with promises they'll never keep, with tears that dry up the second you turn away. They'll swear they've changed, that they're different, that they see the error of their ways. But people don't change. They just get better at hiding what they really are. A snake doesn't shed its fangs, no matter how many skins it leaves behind. The only thing they're sorry for is that you saw the monster beneath the mask, that you looked past the fake smiles and the hollow words and saw them for what they really are: pathetic, weak, terrified of being alone. That's the irony, isn't it? The ones who threw you to the wolves are terrified of being alone in the dark. They tore you apart to fill the emptiness inside them, hoping that maybe if they broke you, they'd feel a little less broken themselves. But all it did was turn them into exactly what they feared most: monsters, staring into a mirror with eyes that don't recognize their own reflection. They hate what they see, hate the emptiness, hate that they're trapped in a hell of their own making. And all they can do is blame you for leaving, for surviving, for refusing to play the victim in their sob story. But don't you dare feel sorry for them. Don't you dare let guilt sink its claws into your back, make you question whether you should have stayed, should have forgiven, should have given them just one more chance. They made their choice the second they put the knife in your back, the second they chose their comfort over your trust, their lies over your loyalty. They knew what they were doing. They just didn't think you'd ever walk away. They thought you'd stay, bleeding and begging and breaking just to make them feel whole. But you didn't. You cut the chains and walked away without looking back. And that's what haunts them. Not your anger, not your hatred. Your freedom, your silence, your indifference. They'll try to rewrite the story, make you out to be the villain, twist the facts until the lies taste sweet. They'll tell everyone how you changed, how you're cold and heartless and ungrateful. Let them drown in their own lies, choke on the bitterness of the story they can't change. Because you're still here, still standing, still breathing, and that's the only truth that matters. Their words can't touch you anymore. Their lies, their poison, their fake tears. It's all just noise, fading into the background as you walk forward. And every time you don't respond, don't flinch, don't turn back. It's another dagger in their heart, because they need you to care, need you to react, to scream, to beg for answers that'll never come. Your silence is a reminder that they don't matter, that their words are empty, that their power over you was always an illusion. They hate it, hate you for showing them the truth, that they're nothing, that they were always nothing. And that's why they can't let go. Why they'll keep crawling back, eyes full of crocodile tears and mouths full of lies. But you owe them nothing, not a word, not a glance, not even a shadow of the person you used to be. You ever notice how the wolves never apologize for being wolves? How they never bow their heads or beg for forgiveness for baring their teeth? That's what they hate the most. That you stopped apologizing for being strong, for surviving, for walking away. They wanted you broken and bleeding, wanted you to grovel and weep and ask for their forgiveness. But instead, you smiled, wiped the blood from your mouth, and kept walking. That's what haunts them. The image of you, cold, indifferent, untouchable. So don't stop. Don't look back. Don't waste another breath on people who never deserved it. Let them scream and cry and curse your name. Let them drown in the silence, in the truth, in the darkness they created. Your indifference is the mirror that shows their true faces, twisted, ugly, rotten to the core. And they can't stand the sight of it, can't stand the thought that no matter how many lies they tell, no matter how many masks they wear, the truth is still there, staring back at them. Because that's the thing about mirrors. They don't lie. No matter how much you hate what you see, the reflection doesn't change. And neither do they. Let them rage. Let them hate. Let them burn. You've got nothing left to prove. You survived. You walked through hell and came out the other side, scarred but breathing. And that's enough. That's everything. So keep walking, keep fighting, keep refusing to care. Wear your indifference like armor, thick and unbreakable. Let it shield you from the lies, the poison, the fake smiles and hollow apologies. Let it remind you that you owe them nothing, that their words are just noise, their tears just water, their anger just a ghost of the power they used to hold over you. Because in the end, that's all they are. Ghosts, haunting the past, trapped in the lies they spun, powerless and bitter and empty. And you're free. That's what they'll never forgive you for. That's the wound that'll never heal, that you walked away without looking back, without a tear, without a goodbye, that you stopped caring. And that, my friend, is the greatest revenge of all. And that's the cruel irony, isn't it? They wanted power, wanted to control you, break you, mold you into something they could use. But now, it's their strings that are cut. It's them who are left grasping at shadows, desperate for a reaction, any sign that they still matter. But all they get is silence. All they get is your back as you walk away, spine straight, eyes cold, not a flicker of emotion. That silence, it's deafening. It screams louder than any words, echoes through the empty halls of their hollow lives, a constant reminder that they don't own you. Not anymore. They thought they were the wolves, baring teeth and grinning wide. But it turns out they were just sheep draped in pelts, playing pretend. They're terrified of the dark. They always were. That's why they move in packs, hiding behind numbers and masks and fake smiles, whispering behind hands and locking doors they think will keep the truth out. But you made the dark your home. Learn to walk through it without flinching, to see clearly where their eyes failed. They can't understand it. How you survived without their light, without their approval, without their fake warmth. It burns them up inside, that question with no answer. How did you make it without us? But they'll never get it. Because people like that don't understand survival. They think it's about strength, about winning battles and standing on the corpses of your enemies. But it's not. Survival is about endurance. It's about dragging yourself through the mud, broken and bleeding, inch by inch, breath by breath, refusing to stay down no matter how many times they put you there. It's about lighting your own fires when the world leaves you in the cold. About stitching yourself back together with scars instead of thread. You didn't survive because you were stronger than them. You survived because you were willing to bleed longer, to endure more, to stare the pain dead in the face, and keep moving. And that's what really scares them, that no matter what they threw at you, no matter how deep the knives went, you didn't break. You bent, you bent until you were sure you'd snap, but you didn't. And now, you're sharper than ever, the cracks filled with iron and ice, unrecognizable from the person they used to know. That's why they keep coming back, isn't it? Why they keep knocking, keep calling, keep trying to drag you back into the past, because they want to see if the monster they created still bleeds. But you're done bleeding for people who wouldn't hand you a bandage. Done explaining, done arguing, done proving. You wasted enough breath on apologies that weren't yours to make, on tears for people who'd already wiped their hands clean. You don't owe them closure. Don't owe them a damn thing. Let them stay up at night replaying every word, every mistake, every silence that cuts deeper than any insult. Let them live with the ghosts of what they did, the weight of the knives they left in your back. Because that's what they never tell you about betrayal. It's a debt that never gets paid. They can beg, they can plead, they can rewrite the story 1,000 different ways, but the blood's still on their hands. They'll try to wash it off with fake smiles and empty apologies, but the stains don't fade. It's a mark they'll carry forever, a shadow that'll follow them into every room, every relationship, every sleepless night. They'll try to bury it. They'll bury it deep beneath laughter and lies in crowded rooms. But the past has claws and it doesn't let go. And you're the reminder they can't escape. Every time they see you, calm, cold, unbothered, it's a mirror held to their faces, reflecting back everything they tried to hide. The guilt, the shame, the lies they told to make themselves feel better. That's why they try to tear you down, try to get a rise out of you, try to paint you as the villain. Because if they can make you the monster, maybe they can convince themselves they're not. But monsters don't wear crowns. They wear smiles. Monsters don't live in shadows. They sit beside you, whispering comfort while they sharpen the knife. So let them call you heartless. Let them say you're cold, that you've changed, that the dark has swallowed you whole. They're right. You have changed, grown teeth, grown armor, learned to smile with blood on your tongue. But the dark didn't swallow you. You became it. You stopped trying to outrun the shadows and learned to rule them. And that's what makes them shake, isn't it? That you're not the scared, broken thing they remember. That you're something else entirely, something colder, something that doesn't flinch or beg or bleed. They'll tell everyone you're bitter, that you can't let go, that the past is eating you alive. But they've got it backward, don't they? It's not you who's haunted, it's them. It's their guilt that keeps them up at night, their lies that echo in the dark. You made peace with the past, accepted the scars and the silence and the truth, but they're still running, still hiding, still pretending that if they lie enough, they'll start to believe it themselves. But truth doesn't need believers. It stands on its own, unshaken, unbent, uncaring. It's not your job to convince them of anything, not the past, not the pain, not the reasons you stopped answering the door. Let them choke on the silence. Let them drown in their own lies. You've got better things to do than play priest to a confessional full of hypocrites. You've got wars to wage, scars to sharpen, an empire to build from the ashes of everything they tried to burn. And yet, you'll walk alone, through the dark, through the cold, through nights that stretch too long and mornings that bite too hard. But solitude ain't a curse, it's a crown. It's proof that you don't need them, that you never did, that you can build your own fire in the dark, warm your own hands, light your own way. And that kind of strength, it terrifies them. It's a power they'll never have, chained to the lies and the masks and the fear of being alone. So keep walking. Keep your back straight, your eyes cold, your silence deafening. Let them see the monster they created, the one that doesn't beg, doesn't bleed, doesn't break. Let them seethe and whisper and choke on the truth. You owe them nothing. Not an explanation, not a second chance, not a backward glance. They made their choice the second they reached for the knife. Now let them live with it. Let them drown in the silence, in the emptiness, in the reflection that shows them exactly what they are. Your indifference is the mirror that shows their true faces, and they can't stand what they see. So let them rage, Let them burn. Let them tear their throats raw, screaming your name. You're already gone. Crown on your head, scars on your back, and nothing but cold fire in your veins. You survived. You walked through hell, smiled at the devil, and came back colder than ever. And that's revenge enough.